This happened in the early 2000s when I was a little girl leading up to New Year's Eve. My parents had just bought a brand new computer and kept it in the living room where I was only allowed to use IT under their supervision. Of course, that didn't stop me. Whenever I wanted to play games or surf the internet without my parents breathing down my neck, I would sneak out of my bedroom after they fell asleep. At night, I could do whatever I wanted. But the one thing I did most was chat with this girl named Christine, who I became friends with online. Over time, we became very close, talking almost every night until we called each other best friends. I opened up about how strict my parents were. While she talked about her parents didn't seem to pay any attention to her at all, we discussed a meeting in person many times. But we discovered that we lived nearly 50 miles apart, which was an impossible distance for either of us to cover at that age. Then one day, close to New Year's Eve, Christine broke some incredible news. She said her older brother had just gotten his license and could drive. This was a big deal because I could finally meet Christine face to face and hang out with her versus chatting online. We eventually hatched a plan. I had always complained that my parents never let me stay up until midnight on New Year's Eve. So, Christine said her brother would pick me up in my house right after my parents went to sleep. He would then drive me over to Christine's where we would watch the fireworks show in her neighborhood. Then, he would drive me back to my house before my parents woke up in the morning. I was excited as hell and felt like a rebel for once. I was tired of obeying such strict rules all the time and being told what I could and couldn't do. It felt good trying something new for once. On the night of New Year's Eve, I waited up in bed until 10 p.m. My parents always fell asleep before then. Soon after, I looked out my window and saw the car parked on the street just past my driveway. That was him, Kristen's brother, there to pick me up. I snuck out of the house, then went up to the car and tapped on the window. It opened just a crack, and in the darkness, I could barely see his face. He said he was there to pick me up just like we had planned. So, I got in the back seat. Once inside, I started to feel a bit nervous. I still couldn't quite see what he looked like. So I tried to make conversation, hoping it would make things less uncomfortable. So, where's Christine? I don't know. What do you mean? Is she waiting at the house for me? I made her up. What? Christine is a lie. I made her up? What? No. Why? To get to you. Let me out. Let me out. By the time I realized I had walked into a trap, I was already racing away from home at 60 miles per hour. There was no way out. No way for me to get the better of him. I couldn't break through the window or find any sort of weapon. I couldn't even try to choke him without pulling my arms away from his neck like they were made of ribbons. To make matters worse, it was the middle of the night and all anyone was focused on were parties and fireworks. When he pulled into the driveway of his house, there wasn't a single person on the street I could call for help. As the garage door closed behind us, I felt like I was being buried alive. The next thing I knew, he was dragging me out of the car as I kicked and screamed, fighting for my life. He took me into his basement where he tied me up and shackled me to the wall of his dungeon. I was too innocent to know what was about to happen to me, but I was sure it was going to be worse than anything I could possibly imagine. 765-321 Happy New Year. Oh, my dear sweet wife, don't cry. It's time for the real fireworks. I never left that dungeon. Not as the same person I was when I was forced into it anyway. For days, that monster held me captive and kept me in misery, torturing me, destroying me, and taking videos of it all for the internet. It took nearly a week for the authorities to catch up and rescue me. But by then, there was little left of me to free. Allegedly, the police had gotten an anonymous tip from one of his online viewers, which led them to my rescue. My entire life since then has been a slow, agonizing crawl back to a semblance of normality. Every New Year's Eve, it feels like I'm right back where I started.